también en King Branch. I just want to make a quick announcement in English. For the English speakers, it is very important for you to stay in the English channel. I will also post these instructions via chat line. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you so much, Mr. Masi. For public comments, online attendees, please sign up using the Q&A button at the bottom center of your Zoom screen. Any phone-in attendees, please dial *9 to raise your hand. In-person attendees may fill out a speaker card at the back of the room and hand it to a staff member. Mr. Chair, you're now welcome to call this meeting to order.
Thank you so much. I'd like to call the 527th meeting of the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy and the Santa Monica Mountains Advisory Committee to order for August 17th, 2026. I've asked Mr. Vettis to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I think this might be the 527th Pledge of Allegiance. Well, but if not, it's close. So if you can place your hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Vettis. Before we get into our agenda items, I'd like to acknowledge that the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy holds lands that originally and still are inhabited by the Fernandeño Tataviam, Gabrielino Tongva, and Ventureño Chumash. We honor and respect their elders and descendants as they continue their stewardship of these lands and waters. James, would you please call the roll of the Conservancy?
Yes, sir. Ms. Bochco, Ms. Hutzel, Mr. Butler. I do see Mr. Butler online.
Yep, I'm here.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez,
Here.
Ms. Lyle,
Here.
Ms. Martin,
Here.
Mr. Fink,
Present.
Ms. Munoz, Mr. Veras.
Here.
Mr. Ortega,
Here.
Ms. Pavley,
Here.
Mr. Luna.
Present.
A quorum is present. Just want to point out it's a little hard to hear Steve and Rudy. So if you could speak into the mic, that'd be great.
Their microphones were off. They're on now.
Thank you.
And James, the advisory committee, please.
Yes. Ms. Acker,
Here.
Ms. Anderson,
Here.
Ms. Brown, Mr. Cacciati, Ms. Conrad,
Here.
Mr. Corridori,
Here.
Mr. Dennert, Ms. Fossen,
Here.
Mr. Garand, Ms. James,
Here.
Mr. Kishbaugh,
Here.
Mr. Kraut, Mr. Lang,
Here.
Ms. Lopez, Mr. Manukian, Ms. Maikos,
Present.
Ms. Nelson, Mr. Ordubegyan, Ms. Rosen, Mr. Rossman,
Present.
Mr. Schlangen,
Here.
Mr. Wendler,
Here.
Mr. Yagparian, Ms. Newsom, Mr. Anderson,
Present.
quorum is present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Thank you, James. At this point, I'd like to ask any legislative participants that are present to please introduce themselves.
Bills are all on suspense.
It's very tense.
Anybody online?
Doesn't sound like it, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we're moving on to our agenda items. We do have a lean agenda. If anybody would like to pull stuff from the consent calendar, please let me know. Otherwise, we're going to vote on that. We have a couple presentations and we do have a Prop 4 to vote on. But we do have a closed session. So Conservancy members, please be advised of that. Stick around till the end because we're going to go into that. All right, having said that, if you're online and have submitted your name in the Q&A box at the bottom of Zoom, please do so now. If you haven't submitted, sorry, online attendees, sign up using the Q&A button at the bottom center of your Zoom screen. Phone in only attendees, dial *9 to raise your hand. In-person attendees, please fill out a speaker card at the back of the room and hand it to a staff member at either location. Individuals will have 3 minutes to do public comment, while those representing organizations have 5 minutes. Staff will notify you when you have 1 minute left. Willie, are there any members of the public that would like to speak?
Mr. Chair, yes, there are a few members of the public. We're going to start here at KGR in person. We have 2 folks thus far. First one is Roger Pugliese, and the second one is Marcy K. Roger, you have the floor.
Good evening. My name is Roger Pugliese. I am the chair of the Topanga Association for Scenic Community. I am the president of the Las Virgenes Homeowners Federation. I'm on the town council, so all around I'm pretty involved with the entire situation in the mountains. I'm here to be I'm in support of the letter that is being written to the to Mr. Lutnick and the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. I am 100% supportive of what the Conservancy has written, and I didn't see any letters that came from homeowner groups and environmental groups in the mountains, but you could bet that I will make sure that that does happen. So along with your letter, they'll be getting letters from people that live in the mountains as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Marcy?
Hi, everybody. I'm Marcy Kay, and I'm pleased to be here. I'm the executive director of Pepper Tree Farm, which is, I'm very inspired and honored to be part of this program. I've spent 25 years building things for children that make a difference. And so I've been brought on to transform Mill Creek into a space where children with disabilities and mental health challenges can meet the beauty of healing through horses and nature. And so I just wanted to introduce myself to you all and tell you all how grateful I am and how honored I am to have Mill Creek, and my team is honored. And I wanted to invite you all to come in small groups and experience the impact that we're going to make, because, you know, it's a complicated world for all of us, and families and kids with disabilities and mental health challenges have even more stress, and we're going to be old-fashioned and bring nature and horses and animals together to make a difference. So come see me if you want to come to the farm, and thank you. I just wanted to introduce myself to you all.
Thank you, Marcy. Patricia, at the River Center, do you have anybody in person that would like to make a public comment?
We do not have any public.
Thank you, Patricia. We're going to move to the online attendees. The first public speaker online is Dr. Solomons, followed by Angelina Klein. Dr. Solomons, you have the floor.
Okay. Yes. My name is Gil Solomon. I'm a lifelong San Fernando Valley resident and living 40 years from Upper Las Virgenes Canyon. I try and emphasize physical activity for health, and I became aware of a global movement called Park Run that was started in the UK, and it's at 2,300 locations in 23 countries. It's a free weekly volunteer run 5K, which individuals can either walk or run at their own pace. And although it's blanketing the UK, there are only 4 in California and none in LA County. And I'm thankful to the MCRA staff for allowing us to start an event, which will come up in less than 2 weeks on the 29th. It will be from 7:30 a.m. at the Victory Trailhead, and we'll be pretty much finished by 8:30. And the goal is to get people moving, connect them to their community, and make physical activity accessible to everyone. So, and also what I want to do in light of the mission and trying to keep the history of this area in everyone's mind is to is to point out that they're going to be running, and they can look on the left and see Castle Peaks, which is one of the sacred mountains for the Chumash. And also, it turns out that my development is a half a mile from the area, and one of the lots, it was reviewed by CSUN, and it was a remnants of a Chumash settlement, and it was never built on and compacted. So I want them to understand that if they were to look over the hill 300 years before, they'd see smoke rising from the settlement, and also point out that the oaks would have provided sustenance. So the stewardship of the Conservancy made this all possible. And there's a website if anyone wants to search for it under Park Run Las Virgenes. And if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but I wanted to introduce myself.
Thank you, Dr. Solomons. Angela Klein, you have the floor.
Hello,
Ms.
my
Klein?
name is Angelina Klein. Yes, I hope everyone can hear me correctly. I'm from Core Community Organized Relief Effort. Just here today to listen in, interested to hear about any funding opportunities regarding from the Conservancy. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Ms. Klein. Mr. Chair, there are no more public speakers online.
Thank you so much.
Actually, Mr. Chair, before we
Oh, go
continue,
ahead.
I think we had Celeste from CNC, and there was supposed to be a presentation by Delaney, but I don't see her online. Celeste, can you confirm, are you giving that presentation during public comment?
I am prepared to give the presentation. I did see us on the agenda during consent and discussion.
So I'm sorry, Delaney wanted for you to present on the consent item during public comment.
Got it. Okay. Are you able to run those slides for me?
It's up right now. Yeah, go ahead.
Fantastic. Good evening, members of the board, staff, community. My name is Celeste Gasparic, and I am the Director of Programs and Training at Community Nature Connection. And it's my pleasure to present this evening to you all on Community Nature Connection's Youth Leadership Series program. Next slide, please. Community Nature Connection is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to increase access to the outdoors for communities impacted by racial, socioeconomic, and disability injustices by eliminating existing barriers through advocacy, community-centered programming, and workforce development. And we've been doing this work very closely with the Conservancy for a number of years. Next slide, please. The Youth Leadership Series program is one of our most long-standing programs at CNC. And if you've been around for a while, you may remember the Naturalist Explorers program, as it was first called. Currently, today, the Youth Leadership Series consists of 3 programs. Our now called Emerging Naturalists program, we have a 1.0, a 2.0, and then a Continuing Connections program. And these programs build on one another with a really introductory program, a more advanced program, and then an alumni network of programs. The programs provide outdoor experiential learning, wellness, and career exploration opportunities while providing a forum to better understand access to nature issues affecting low-income neighborhoods and communities of color. Over the past 2025 to 2026, we have delivered an 8-week Emerging Naturalist 1.0 program in Northeast LA at Elyria Canyon Park. We've also have delivered a 1.0 program at Vista Hermosa Park in spring 2026. We did a 10-week 2.0 program, or are currently recruiting for one at Vista Hermosa, and that will get started next month for the fall. Additionally, we have done 3 continuing connections events this year. And in addition to yearly workshops, we also do a monthly newsletter for our alumni to keep them abreast of opportunities in the field and to keep them connected. Next slide. Some program highlights from the 2025 program. We had the Fall Emerging Naturalists with 15 youth from Northeast Los Angeles High School, spending 8 weeks together at the Elyria Canyon Alcatet Learning Nursery. They engaged in community restoration projects on site at Elyria. They camped overnight in Elyria Canyon. They also partnered with Test Plot to engage in community restoration in Rainbow Canyon, in the neighboring canyon in Mount Washington. And we also were able to take them kayaking on the LA River, and they did a community action project. Next slide, please. In the spring, we did the Emerging Naturalist program at serving the Westlake community at Vista Hermosa Park. In this program, in addition to the exposure to outdoor careers and recreation opportunities, we're very focused on building a sense of comfort in the outdoors for our cohort. And we do that by bringing together the cohort and really creating and exposing them to activities that increase a sense of belonging in nature and a connection to their parks. I'll just read this one quote at the bottom from one of our participants from our spring program. There is a coyote outside. I liked the rock pools when we went to Malibu Creek State Park. It wasn't too hot, it was by the water. I liked the mountains. I was with all the emerging naturalists in the cohort. Everybody is just sitting around the water. We just got done tree surveying with the ranger and her dog. I'm sitting down. I felt calm. Not hot, not too tired. It was something I never did before. I didn't think I was going to like it because I've never been camping before, but I did it and I liked it. I would do it again. Next slide. And we're currently recruiting for our 2026 Youth Leadership Series program, which will be the Emerging Naturalist 2.0. So we'll return to Vista Hermosa. We'll welcome back a few returners from the spring program, and we'll recruit some new folks, and they'll have the opportunity to deepen their connection to the outdoors with the base at Vista Hermosa Park and focus on developing those individual nature-based wellness practices through art, sensory exploration, recreation opportunities, and exposure to careers in the field. Next slide, please. And lastly, our Community Nature Connection Alumni Association, which I mentioned is called Continuing Connections. It really gives us the opportunity to continue that connection with our youth participants after they complete our leadership programs. And so we bring them back together for events each year, as well as with monthly emails to keep them linked into opportunities in the field. We had a really amazing bat walk program at the LA River out of Lewis McAdams Park. Riverfront Park, where we had 40, almost 40 participants come together and do an interpretive program about bats. And then we walked to the underpass of Fletcher Drive and saw hundreds of bats emerging. And it was really a very, very cool program. And we do other programs such as pictured in the middle here, a Transit to Trails program from Vista Hermosa Park, taking a group of our participants out hiking at Williker Park. So next slide, please. Want to share this work with you and thank you for your ongoing support.
Thank you, Celeste. Mr. Chair, we're ready to move on to the consent calendar.
Great. We're moving on to item 9. At this point, the Conservancy would like to hear from the Advisory Board on the consent calendar items.
Great. Yeah, Roseanne.
I
Did you pull anything?
I would like to pull item B.
Okay. Any other ones? Anybody else? Okay, we've request to pull B. And setting B aside, we can vote on A, C, and D. James?
We need a motion in this.
Oh, sorry. I
I'll
thought
move.
Roseanne motioned to do that and George seconded. Okay, thank you. Apologies.
Miss Acker,
Yes.
Miss Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Cacciati,
Yes.
Miss Conrad,
Yes.
Mr. Corridori,
Yes.
Miss Fossen,
Yes.
Miss James,
Yes.
Mr. Kishba,
Yes.
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Miss Mikos,
Aye.
Mr. Rossman,
Yes.
Mr. Schlangen,
Yes.
Mr. Wendler,
Yes.
Mr. Yekparian,
Yes.
Mr.
Yeah.
Simpson.
Yes.
That carries.
James, can we have, or Mr. Anderson, can you have your discussion on B and before it comes over to us?
Yep, very well. Okay, so we've had a request to pull B. So this is the consideration of a resolution authorizing a comment letter to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration regarding the evaluation of California's coastal management program under the Coastal Zone Management Act. I suspect Roseanne wants to start us off.
Right. The reason I pulled this is because I wanted to ask staff if there is some type of a website, either with NOAA or with the Department of Commerce, where the public has a deadline to make comments to, besides sending physical letters. Because a lot of times there are things like that, and I wondered if the staff could let us know about the deadline so that the public can know, because I think a lot of people in the public, if they were able to do one of those online comments, a lot of people would do it. And if I knew where it was, I would post in my social media world to try to get people to do it. And so I was wondering if staff could tell us anything about that, deadlines and where to do it.
Well,
Sure.
for them to chime in, I'll just say that we did have a in-person list last week in Santa Monica, and then 2 Zoom-based options for real-time testimony. But yeah, so far.
And hi, I'm Elena Ager. Good evening, everyone. There are, fortunately, the letter has the email where you can submit your comments. So at the top of the letter, I believe I'm gonna look at it really quickly right now. Yes, by email to sesma.california/evaluation@noaa.gov. That is the same place you submit comments in general. So
So don't they have to do something in the Federal Register or something? Don't they have to do something like when they're going to change a rule in the forests? They always have these things online that you have to do. Don't they have to do that?
And yes, they did publish in the Federal Register, and that's the address that they give you for commenting.
They're not making it easy for you then. Okay.
Well, as Mr. Anderson explained, they just held 2 in-person meetings where you could come and give your comments orally, and then there's the written comments that you can submit, and they're due August 22nd. So what I'll do to make your life a little easier, I will send to James Uranium the information that you've asked for, and he can forward it to all the board.
That would be great. Thank you.
Of course.
And I mean, I'm certainly in favor of the letter.
Sure.
Great letter. I just felt like we got to try to do as much as we can to get more of them in.
Absolutely. Other comments that people had about item B? I'll just say that we've surveyed over 20,000 people over the last 2 decades, and most people are not happy with our coastal management when you ask them generally. But when you ask them specifically, they're very happy with many things, particularly protected areas, et cetera. And so this notion of, and it's on the order, I don't know the data with the current year added in, but it's on the order of 95% of California, the Coastal Commission's findings are in complete agreement with the federal government. So it's a very small percentage that California has recommendations or findings other than what our federal partners say. And I think the existence of this group right here is one example of federal, state, local folks coming together. And there's ways to do that properly, and there's ways to not do that properly. This appears to be a way to do it differently. So it's pretty offensive, but quite honestly, it was someone that works in states that do this quite poorly, and you can see the consequences for people and wildlife. It's pretty crazy that we are being evaluated a second time in 2 years. So I'm very happy that we're writing this letter. And seeing no other comments, James?
In the motion.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I think that was discussion. So I think we're done with discussion unless do you have a commenter? Yeah.
So I take that as a motion for Ms.
Yes.
Michaels. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
George, yeah.
Ms. Acker? Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Cacciati?
Yes.
Ms. Conrad?
Yes.
Mr. Corridori?
Yes.
Ms. Fossen?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Mr. Kishbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Lang?
Yes.
Ms. Michaels?
Aye.
Mr. Rossman?
Yes.
Mr. Schlangen?
Yes.
Mr. Wendler?
Yes.
Mr. Yagparian?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Super strong, yes.
That carries.
Conservancy members, can I get a motion on the consent calendar?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Reyes,
Second.
second by Mr. Ortega.
I had a comment, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Pavley, please go ahead.
That's fine. I was waiting for the motion. Just, I wanted to also mention how impressed I was with the quality of the letter, tone of the letter, and I'm a former coastal commissioner, but really important on the federal level, not engaging in the state's priorities, what's in the best interest of our economy as well as the environment. Tourism economy I'm talking about. And so with that, thank you very much, Conservancy staff, for putting this on our agenda and calling it to our attention. It's really important. Was this the press conference that Secretary of Defense Wade Profit spoke at and Supervisor Lindsay?
Well, they spoke there. Some of them also spoke in the fracking thing up in Santa.
Oh, the fracking. Good. Yes. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pavley. James,
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Lyle?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yeah.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Veras?
Yes.
Mr. Ortega?
Yes.
Ms. Pavley?
Yes.
Mr. Luna?
Yes,
The item carries.
great. We're moving, thank you, everyone. We're moving on to item 10. First discussion item is a presentation describing the new U.S. Wildland Fire Service by Kelly Singer, who is the Deputy Fire Chief for the Coastal Mountains Unit in California.
And Mr. Chair, this is Jody Lyle. Could I just do a short introduction for Kelly as he's
Of course.
coming up? Thank you. So I think many of you remember that a few months ago, I talked about how we in the federal government, specifically in the Department of Interior, we're going through a big transition in our wildland fire service, or how we manage wildland fire. And so to that point tonight, I invited a very special guest. So Kelly Singer is going to introduce to you sort of those changes and the creation of a new agency within Department of Interior to handle fire. And it also, this is twofold. It's an opportunity for you to meet him. He's new to Santa Monica Mountains just this past month. He finally started. And I want to brag a little because before the consolidation happened and the new Wildland Fire Service was created, we had a vacant position in Santa Monica Mountains that we used to call our fire management officer. And so I had worked for months on that hiring effort and was able to squeak in and hire Kelly before the consolidation happened. And so I made him the offer when we were all still National Park Service employees. And by the time Kelly started, he was a U.S. Wildland Fire Service employee. But I am thrilled that we got someone of Kelly's caliber and professionalism and long ties to the National Park Service. And so I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about his background as well as kind of what this new agency is all about. And so turn it over to Kelly.
Thanks, Jody. Yeah, I had a slide presentation. If you could give me that.
Let me get that queued up. Give me just a moment.
Yeah. So yeah, Jody stole all of my thunder. New, new to the Southern California area, but really excited to be here. It's nice to meet the Conservancy members and the public. So I'll talk a little bit about the newly anointed U.S. Wildland Fire Service. When I started, like Jody said, I was a National Park Service employee, FMO, which was a fire management officer. But that changed once we went into the U.S. Wildland Fire Service. I'm now a deputy unit chief. So we created new areas within the Department of Interior, and I am, have a new title. So next slide, please. And so, yeah, with the creation of the Wildland Fire Service, and to be clear, this is just the Department of Interior, not the U.S. Forest Service. So there's lots of questions on whether Forest Service is going to come on board or not, but they're doing a long-term study to see the feasibility of the U.S. Forest Service, Department of Agriculture eventually joining our ranks. So we'll see what happens there. So yeah, we're kind of the smaller organization compared to, once you bring all the bureaus together, which is the BLM, the BIA, U.S. Fish and Wildland Fire Service, and the National Park Service. We're about 4,000 permanent employees. So kind of small potatoes when we're compared to the U.S. Forest Service. Next slide, please. And so our purpose and our mission really hasn't changed. We are, responsible for wildland fire response on DOI land. So Department of Interior, Federal Land Management, wildland fire response, and that includes all fuel fire management, including fuels, projects, and overseeing a wildland response on our lands. Next slide, please. So this is kind of a interim map of what California is going to look like for our DOI units. And so you can see with the U.S. Wildland Fire Service, they always tell us this is subject to change. So this map will likely change. You can see 11 units that are broken up into different, what we're calling geographic area boundaries. And so down there to the south, we're the coastal mountain unit. And I had the opportunity to coin that phrase, so pretty stoked. And so you can see, our boundary goes all the way out to Bakersfield. So it includes some BLM Bakersfield units. We oversee Channel Islands National Park, and then all of Santa Monica Mountains rec area. So currently that's kind of our boundary, and the way we are a stovepiped organization now. I don't necessarily report to a superintendent or a chief ranger at a park. I report to a new unit chief who oversees each geographic area has its own unit chief, and then we report to that person, and then all the way up the chain, the Wildland Fire Service to our new chief, Fennessy, who came from Orange County. So yeah, whole new program. Next slide, please. And so, yeah, a little more direct message from Chief Fennessy, pretty clear intent, working closely with our cooperators. I've been going to lots of cooperator meetings with the counties, Ventura County, LA County. So working closely with the Forest Service as well and our state partners. So still maintaining that strong relationship with the parks and parks mission. And as we respond to fires and we implement fuels projects, we want to ensure that those objectives of the lands that we're managing are meeting the mission.
Next slide, please. So MedCoast unit formerly was the MedCoast because we also had fire response for Cabrillo National Monument, but now we're just kind of my purview is overseeing Santa Monica Mountains and Channel Islands. And so right now we're kind of a small group, but now that we have all of these other resources available to us, we're starting to build out our network. So we're going to hire a new fields chief, which we're getting ready to advertise, another battalion chief that kind of oversees operations. And then we still have our fully staffed engine, which is stationed over at Paramount. Those guys just came back from a fire assignment, and so they respond to any fires that threaten the rec area, any fires that are within the rec area in Santa Monica Mountains. So we're working on building up their capacity as well. I want to put another engine module together so we can eventually have 2 engines available from right here at Paramount. So yeah. And I think that was the end of the slides. Yep. Also, so just wanted to highlight, we are doing, continuing to do fields work in the rec area. We've accomplished about close to 325 acres of defensible space treatments and strategic fuels mitigations. So we're, as a Wildland Fire Service, we still support that mission, still support those fuels projects. And I'm hoping with the new fuels chief, we can definitely try to expand and get more acres treated in the future. So excited to be here, excited to work with everybody, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. This was a presentation with no vote, but if there's any questions for Deputy Fire Chief Singer, this is your opportunity to do so. Thoughts? Oh, I have a question here. Go ahead, Mr.
Hi. This may betray my ignorance of the terminology, but in that mission statement, there was the term suppression. I thought that that was part of the problem over the past many decades, that we've suppressed too many fires, and as a result, things are much worse now. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so I can speak coming from, my background is from working in Yosemite National Park, Sequoia National Parks, parks that supported managed fire for resource benefit, and all of the science has proven that fire on the landscape has some benefit to it, but it's the right place and right time. Down here in Santa Monica Mountains, we understand that a full fire suppression response is, our ultimate goal to protect the infrastructure and the communities around the rec area. So in this circumstance, in this wildland urban interface that we work in, our response is going to be very robust and aggressive suppression response. In other areas, other parts of California, it may be appropriate, and bringing back prescribed fire is another tool that could be utilized, that I'd like to see in the future, but taking small steps towards implementing prescribed fire in the future. But yeah, point well taken. 100 years of fire suppression is put us in a kind of a tough spot with the fuels buildup.
Thank you, Mr. Yekparian. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
To the best. Okay, any other questions here at the River Center?
No.
Seeing none over here. Over there, Mr. Anderson?
Yeah, I have a quick question. So an unusual event, but the changeover happened, or the onboarding of our new agency happened as Santa Rosa was on fire. And that was a challenge from what I hear from our colleagues at the Channel Islands National Park. And so I'm just curious now, that fire is obviously out. The bear teams are in there doing their stuff. Do you guys have a role in that, or is that turned over to the park unit? Are you guys just the active suppression of this new agency? We
were there from the beginning, so
I started my position on the 15th. That fire started around June 15th, and we were just transitioned into this new role. And so we were there from the initial attack response into the extended attack, and then into suppression repair, and then all the way into bringing in burned area rehab team to oversee, the stabilization of the island. And so we were there the full gamut of the whole process. So that'll continue, whether we have a fire within the rec area, we're going to be there lock and step through the whole process. So it's in our delegation that we do oversee those bear activities and burned area stabilization. Yeah. Because, yeah.
I was just going to point out that the Santa Rosa fire holds the distinction of being the very first fire. It was in the whole country, right?
Yeah.
The very first fire of the new agency. So, because the fire had actually started the day before. And so, but at midnight that Saturday is when all of the kind of Kelly, and Kelly was assigned to that fire. So he was there the first 24 hours as a National Park Service employee, and then at midnight turned into a Wildland Fire Service
Turned into a
employee.
pumpkin.
And yeah, and there were some interesting challenges with that transition and then trying to fight a very complex fire at the same time. So kudos to all of them, Kelly and many others, my colleague, Ethan, the superintendent at Channel Islands, and them trying to navigate through all those changes.
Sean?
Yeah, George.
Yes, I know this is all new, Kelly, and I hadn't been tested very long, but is this new organization, from your perspective, boots on the ground and so forth, is there some advantages you see at this stage, early stage of the reorganization, to address the challenges that we face?
Yeah, it is in its infancy, developing this new organization, but the advantages I see right now is already we're getting more support. So instead of just being the Park Service and relying on help from other Park Service units, now we have available resources from all those 4 different bureaus: BLM, BIA, Park Service, Fish and Wildlife. So all of those bureaus that have firefighting resources. Also, when it comes to implementing fuels projects, I just can call the folks over at Bakersfield and say, hey, I need 2 hotshot crews, or I need 5 engines. And it's just a phone call. There isn't a layer of bureaucracy to get those resources here to either help out with wildland fire response or implementing prescribed fire projects.
I don't know if the MRC, is in the mix, but don't forget the MRCA fire.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, hand in hand. Yeah.
Any other questions?
New agency, is there a chance to incorporate some of the newer technologies that you see out there in regards to fire suppression?
Yeah, detection and the use of new technologies, AI. We have a big UAS program, a drone program. And so utilizing those assets for when we were using them on the last little fire we had up near Circle Ranch, flying the drones, making sure that there is no heat detection left out there, and we're 100% sure that we can call that fire out. And so using the UAS platforms is one of those tools.
I have a question. So you'll have possibly 2 fire.
Speak in the mic, can't hear?
Yes, I had a question. You'll have 2 fire engines stationed at Paramount Ranch?
Currently, we have 1, but I'm putting a proposal to have 2 stationed there. Yeah, have the staffing to staff up 2 engines.
If you need
Yeah.
any support, let us
Yes.
know if it'll be helpful or not. So anyway.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's what it'll be. So how will you work with like the surrounding LA County Fire Department, which has usually in any wildfire, they're the primary, not CAL FIRE, but LA County Fire Department's the #1, lots of times with Ventura County.
Yes, and we're in the process of updating all of our agreements. So we have agreements with Ventura County and LA County. every fire works by the closest resource responding. And so they are the workforce. They have all of the robust response that we're looking for. So that's what we're relying on. And we're updating all of those agreements to make sure that it's ironclad with the fire response. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay, so first and foremost, thank you for your service. It is a delight to have you here. Jody, nice job in bringing him here, and I love the transition. So first, I just want to reflect and make sure I understand what you do. So what I'm hearing is you are fuels mitigation for the properties owned by those 4 agencies, plus you're fighting fire on all of the land owned by any of those 4 agencies, and also doing this BEAR thing. I think that's the new thing, which, thank you for unpacking that acronym. Was that?
Post-fire, that's it.
Yeah, the burn area stabilization. Why is it not BOSS? But that's a question. Okay, so that all makes a whole lot of sense. And Senator Pavley asked one of the questions I had around the relationship. So when CAL FIRE then gets involved, are you just part of that whole constellation of folks that are responding?
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, yeah.
And then is it some part of your job too? Like, so those are all the things you do on those lands. And is it then some measure also of coordination with all 4 of those entities, plus all of us?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when there is a fire on the landscape, it really doesn't matter if it's federal or state. The resources go and deal with the incident. Right now, because we are in a national planning level of 5, which is, it goes from 1 to 5, 5 being meaning that resources are stretched very thin because there's so much going on nationwide. And so resources are very scarce right now. And so that's when we really lean into our county partners, our state partners, to help us out with any fire response. And so those agreements with the counties are super important because when all the federal folks are out engaged, the county resources are left behind. So we rely on those folks to do pre-position, when during high fire danger, if we had a red flag warning, we would reach out to those resources and say, hey, what do you have available that can help us out? So it's a partnership. It doesn't matter what kind of uniform you have on or what color engine shows up, but everybody's coming.
I have a quick question. Thank you again. Thank you very much for being here. I'm from Malibu City, or City of Malibu, and I was wondering if you could share, or maybe I could reach out to the projects that you've been working on so that we can push them out on our social media, or our city manager can know what you guys are doing in the area as far as brush clearance or mitigation efforts. I was also wondering, do you guys have to deal with CEQA?
NEPA.
So you have
Or fetch.
NEPA. Okay, because I know that we have a bill coming up, which is an assembly person's trying to extend CEQA so that we can get some more time in for the state project. But I wasn't sure if you guys had to deal with all of that.
We have our own flavor, but it's the same process.
Same
So it's an environmental compliance process. So we do NEPA on the environmental natural resource side, and we do what's called Section 106 on the cultural resource side. That's under the National Historic Preservation Act to make sure that there aren't cultural or historical things being.
And like if you were to do pile burns, MRCA has been great with communicating those, like from Topanga. Will you be doing the same outreach to the communities ahead of time, just to give the residents a heads up on what to expect?
Yeah,
Great.
definitely. If we're implementing any type of project that's going to have an impact on the community we're working nearby, we'll definitely be reaching out. And the point about sharing, what kind of fuels treatments we have going on or having planned. This has come up at a few other meetings I've been to, and I know we're working with some of our state partners to work on a website where it's, public facing, and they can see all that's happening between all of the different agencies as far as fuel treatments go. So that's something that's being worked on.
Welcome to the area. We're
Thank you.
grateful.
Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation so far. You were saying that, obviously you're going to be working together with all the different partners at the county level, et cetera, Ventura County and LA County Fire Department and so forth. But how is this the same or different than from before in terms of, quote, who is in charge, in the sense of whether it's the incident command when it's an actual fire? Who decides? Is it you because you're this new group as to who is the head honcho, so to speak, and makes the decisions? But you did say that you were going to be relying so much on the locals because you don't have very many people. So I'm trying to understand the leadership and who's in charge a little bit better than I understand so far.
Normally, when we show up, it's the incident command system, and that system uses the most qualified person that shows up on scene. And so when we work with our partners, say LA County shows up and they have an IC there, I embed myself in with that organization within that structure, and I'm essentially being an agency representative for our superintendent to make sure that our objectives are being met, there aren't any impacts, and that they're making good decisions to support our resources. And so sometimes I'll be plugged in, or one of my employees could be plugged in as an IC that's working really closely. We could do like dual command, where we have two ICs. One is in charge of the county resources, and then federal IC would be in charge of the federal resources. And so we're always working in unified command when we're responding with different agencies in different jurisdictions.
And to what extent is that different than it was before we had this new organization?
As far as ICS is concerned, and response, nothing has changed. As a unit chief, I have a little different delegation now, because if you follow where the budget lies, the budget is now coming from the Wildland Fire Service as opposed from the Park Service. So I can make decisions based on, because we're now signing what's going to happen as far as implementing a plan.
Yeah, they were just trying, they couldn't hear us very good, so they were trying to put the volume up.
What, is somebody talking?
Patricia, River Center is faint, and we understand that River Center is having trouble hearing KGR.
Chris, thank you. We need to pause just for a second to work out some tech issues. River Center can't hear us at the moment.
Okay, so a 10-minute recess? Is that what we're talking about?
Let's do like 2.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Maybe I'll find out there.
All right.
Who would I ask? Or, Katie's on the phone. Couple more.
We don't have card. Or uniform. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, Patricia, I heard that.
Great.
It's a short change, but. Living it, experiencing it, jumping on the right now. Yeah. 2,000 of those. I mean, it's easy for you. I just rented a hospital.
Well. Stop.
No, I'm excited.
Hey, River Center, can you hear us over there?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, so the bird area.
They can't hear.
Yeah, I think it's.
Help me. Okay, Joe.
Fair. Oh, it's,
Hey, Dustin.
bird area emergency response.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get started again.
No.
John,
Mr. Anderson, Ms. Lyle.
Correct.
Okay, I think KGR is back online, I think, apparently.
Patricia, can you confirm
Can
that
you guys hear me? Hello, hello?
you can hear us?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
We're back. All right.
Okay.
Don't touch
So I think we just wrapped up. I don't think anybody else had any more questions. Anybody else have any more questions on our side?
I would just give one last
Sure.
piece of information, because I don't think we said it directly that, so Kelly actually still, even though he has a much bigger response area, like he described all the way to Bakersfield and that whole coastal mountains unit, he still physically sits at the headquarters in Santa Monica Mountains with the Park Service. And so I love that because I think that possession is 9/10 of the law. And so, but it's really great because when we have him, will be very, very knowledgeable about our areas and working with these partners. So thank you all for your interest in the session and asking great questions. We appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you for the presentation. That was great.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, for item 10B, we had a little
Oh, sorry.
administrative misunderstanding, and we already heard that presentation during the public comment period, so we can move on to item 10C.
So actually, can I ask a question?
Of course.
So in your dreams, what is your staffing level for Santa Monica Mountains and our environs?
In my dreams?
Yeah.
You're realistic.
Well, no, I mean, we probably have more fire challenges here than most places.
Yeah.
And so your jurisdiction would go from what, the Carrizo Plain on down?
Yeah, that wouldn't be part of it. Yeah.
So there's a fire in the Carrizo Plain and there's something in Las Virgenes. You need more resources than I think you probably would have.
Well, yeah, we're always asking for more resources.
Yeah,
and it's.
I'm not. You won't be quoted.
I would love to have.
What would be the optimum?
Yeah.
Level of staffing. So when the next president comes, who will be a good friend of.
Yeah, I'd love to have a UAS module,
Yeah.
a drone module that could be mobile and go to different areas. 5 more engines would be an awesome start, and probably 2 crews. Yeah, that'd be a good.
But for the islands as well? You don't think?
Yeah, a fleet of fireboats, maybe.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You guys are leading him down a bad path.
No, we rely heavily on the Los Padres National Forest for response to Channel Islands, and so they were pretty instrumental in putting that thing to bed out there. So, yeah.
To that question, how do you get funding through grants? Through
No,
state
it's a
grant,
congressional appropriation. It's
congressional. Well, good luck.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, cool.
Thanks again.
Thank you. I think we're on to 10C. Prop 4 funds for community nature connection for the wildfire education and workforce development program. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Kate and two, Roseanne, okay. Any discussion?
It's the one we had.
Okay, and I can't, nobody at the River Center, any questions?
I believe we do have a presentation prepared. Ms. Kevorkian, are you online?
Yes, hi. Thank you, Chairperson and board members. I'll just briefly review the item and thank you for considering this grant to fund Community Nature Connection for the Wildfire Education and Workforce Development Program at Elyria Canyon Park Nursery. So the Akuta Learning Nursery was established in 2022 at Elyria Canyon at the existing barn structure. And over the past 5 years, Community Nature Connection has really activated the space for the community, using the nursery as a place for education, engagement, workforce development, and training as it relates to wildfire resilience, native plant care, conservation, and providing education on structure hardening, and actually modifying a lot of the existing material to communities who are renters and not necessarily homeowners. As MRCA is planning to make upgrades to the actual barn itself, using separate federal funds actually to comply with structure hardening best practices in Zone 0, the CNC would use this Prop 4 grant to upgrade the nursery to make it more wildfire resilient and hardened, while progressing the training and education programming related to wildfire resilience. A portion of the grant will also support the Tribal Conservation Corps to help maintain the trail from the Wallem parking lot to the barn, and that's the main access route to the barn. Also, I do want to note, just a final note, is that the grant, this Prop 4 grant, will be coming from the Conservancy's wildfire funds. I know there's a reference to community access, although there will be community access provided, it is from the wildfire fund. And I will pause there for any questions.
Any questions for Sarah? I can't see the River Center. Is that anybody at the River Center have a question?
This is Daniel. Can you hear me?
Oh, sure. Daniel, go ahead.
I really love Community Nature Connection and appreciate the work that they do, particularly around engaging underrepresented communities. I wanted to understand, though, your statement around the education engagement. You noted that the community you primarily engage isn't necessarily homeowners, so I'm just wondering about sort of what is the theory of change around engaging the community around home hardening, or sort of what's the outcomes that you're hoping to see through this program, if you could describe that a little more.
Sure. Yeah. So the existing engagement that's happening is, so I'll back up for a second. When we talk about home hardening or structure hardening, the materials that exist, the printed and digital materials that exist in Los Angeles, primarily in the Santa Monica Mountains, are addressed to homeowners. The materials, outline homeowners and often don't provide specific examples or opportunities for renters. So CNC is very much engaging homeowners while also adding on additional engagement for more diverse communities, as well as providing additional access to the information, including translation. So it's not focusing only on renters per se, but it's expanding the communities that are served, which aligns very much, I think, with all our missions.
Great. And then thinking about not all of this is a full retrofit of your building, but not putting your trash cans next to the building. Is it home hardening technique you can do that renters could do?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
So one thing I'll add is, and it's not the focus of this grant, but I think it's very much an important kind of part of this the nursery retrofit is MRCA has received some funds from HUD, federal funds, to actually retrofit the red barn, and that's in partnership with CNC. And that excludes the nursery, and the nursery has a trellis, for example, and that's, these elements. But also the nursery needs to comply with Zone 0 and just be Also, just upgrades to the nursery are needed as part of this grant. So both the grants will leverage one another so that we can both harden that structure with other funds, but also create a nursery that's hardened and expands on the existing facilities and is improved. So yes, there will be examples of Zone 0, like less invasive improvements that are examples for the community.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, not hearing any or seeing any. James, can we have a vote?
Ms. Acker?
Yeah.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Cacciati?
Yes.
Ms. Conrad?
Yes.
Mr. Corridori?
Yes.
Ms. Fossen?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Mr. Kishba?
Yes.
Mr. Lang?
Yes.
Ms. Mikos?
Aye.
Mr. Rossman?
Yes.
Mr. Schlangen?
Yes.
Mr. Wendler?
Yes.
Mr. Yagparian?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
That carries.
Thank you, James. Conservancy members, can I get a first and a second so we can do some discussion?
I so move.
Moved by Mr. Ortega.
Second.
Second by Mr. Veres. Oh, sorry. Did someone over there in the King Gillette?
Doesn't matter.
You're good.
He's deferring.
Capture the second over there, James. And then, thank you. And Mr. Veres had some comments or questions.
More of a question, and I think during my tenure on this board, I think I've had more questions about Elyria Canyon in terms of overgrowth and fire compliance, almost more than any other piece of property. Maybe it's just because of where I'm operating out of. But it just, as people come to the to our programs and projects there, how do we balance doing the education side and then ensuring that sort of the basic service of dealing with overgrown brush areas? Like, how do we communicate? Are we trying to put it back on some ownership? What about the property we have? How is that happening, particularly in this is probably one of our more dense urban areas, and just trying to balance out the education piece with the needs to just do some of the basic work with brush clearance?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So Elyria is actually brushed annually through our contracts. The 200-foot buffer from the structures adjacent to the park are brushed at Elyria. I believe it's like one of the first parks in the season, just how the contractors start. So that is very much part of that is activity that occurs annually. But at the same time, I know that there's been through CNCs as well as other partners programming at Elyria, we've had even more dialogue with community members on the balance of restoration, removing flashy fuels, but planting native trees in the appropriate distances from structures and so forth. So I actually think that creating and having the barn there, and more importantly, having community nature connection activate the nursery has really created an amazing dialogue with the community on brushing responsibilities, but also responsible restoration practices. And there's a lot of educational opportunities for community members to learn not just about home hardening per se, but also how they can take plants from the nursery and the appropriate spacing from the structures that they can plant it. So there's definitely dialogue around the balance of hazards and restoration that's science-based.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Any other questions from Conservancy members?
I had
Online?
one question for point of clarification.
Please.
This is Proposition $4, correct?
Yes.
And
Yes.
is it coming from GGRF funds, gas emission funds?
No.
The separate section? Okay.
We don't get
And it's good, and it's consistent with what will be moving forward in the next budget year from July 1st.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing this badly.
Oh, I was just curious about how it relates to what's going on with the budget. in Prop 4, and what, and it's not greenhouse gas emission dollars, so.
This is out of our remaining appropriation that we already
you.
got for wildfire
Okay,
from Prop
that's
4.
good, because I have a wildlife conservation board meeting next week, and I'm thinking, I don't remember this, so that explains it. So, good. You
Very little left.
spend down that money, yes.
We've essentially granted out almost the entire
Perfect.
wildfire
Yes, that's,
appropriation.
I was worried. Okay,
Does
I'm
that
good.
answer your question, Ms. Pavlik?
yes.
Great. All right. We have a first and we have a second. Can we take a roll call, James?
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Lyle,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Mr. Veras,
Yes.
Mr. Ortega,
Yes.
Ms. Pavli,
Yes.
Mr. Luna.
Yes.
The item carries.
Thank you so much. We're moving on to item 11, reports. Chairperson report. I have nothing to report. Coastal Commission report.
No report.
Coastal Conservancy.
No report.
Attorney General.
No report today.
Thank you. National Park Service.
Just a couple things. I wanted to point out, I'm sure a lot of you read about in the news, and some of you actually may work directly with Southern California Edison on their tug projects, their targeted undergrounding of lines, of electrical lines. And I just wanted to bring out, because I know that we all read about it just as people, but I've never really heard us talk about it in this forum before. And I thought that I would highlight that the National Park Service does this quite a lot. And if you've been to Paramount Ranch recently, you've seen a lot of construction in the last few weeks. That was a tug project for SCE. They're undergrounding the lines along Cornell. And so that's it's a really positive thing. We're really glad to be part of those efforts. Many other agencies and cities and organizations are too. So this is not unique to us, but just wanted to point out that it is another one of those things that is sort of maybe not understood by the public as well, and takes up a lot of time and staff capacity to get those projects off the ground. So we've been working on that lately. And then just lastly, an invitation to everyone for something fun this Sunday. If you're looking for something to do here at King Gillette Ranch, we have our final Silence Under the Stars, which is where we show a silent movie. And this wonderful gentleman, who I can't think of his name right now, comes and plays piano while the movie plays. And so if you want to do that, it's at 7:30 p.m. this Sunday night in the courtyard of the Visitor Center. So
What are you playing?
what?
What movie?
Oh, the movie. It's called, I wrote it down. It's called The Trail of 98, and it's about the Klondike Gold Rush in Alaska. And the movie's from 1928.
Fine.
Did you say that the undergrounding was at Paramount Ranch? Is that what you said?
The most recent one we've been working on, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. There are lots of other ones going on too.
That impacts some MRCA properties also.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Lyle. Does that conclude your report?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah. Could you share maybe with James so that the invite can go out to about this Sunday?
Oh, certainly, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
When are you going to do IMAX?
At first he said like you should buy some engines. Now he's saying go IMAX. Look at this stuff.
What do you want from me, Joe?
The stars are in IMAX.
Thank you. State Parks report?
No report.
Forest Service report?
Mr. Chair, we do have Jamal Butler online. Mr. Butler, this is your opportunity if you'd like to speak and introduce yourself.
So I don't have a report, but I just glad to be here. I just y'all probably saw the press release, but I am officially the permanent forest supervisor for the Angeles National Forest. So
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'll be seeing y'all in person at some point soon.
Hopefully soon. Thank you so much, and congratulations on your
All
report.
right.
Mr. Edmonston, your report?
So we have a lot of emphasis on fire, And unfortunately, some of the things we have to do is make up for the fire that happened a year and a half ago. And Temescal Canyon was devastated. And we are moving as rapidly as we can, as we can afford to rehabilitate Temescal. And leading many of our efforts here, Lee Crowley. And Lee, tell us about what we're doing in Temescal, and maybe you can show us some photos.
Sure thing, Joe. Good evening, everybody. So, yeah, I've been working along with the California Conservation Corps. Can everybody hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And so we've been doing back-to-back spikes. This last week, the CCC crews tackled on two very different projects. The first focused on hazardous fuel reduction near the park entrance. And the second focused on storm preparation and debris removal along the riverbed behind Stewart Hall. So the first project was located near the entrance of the park, specifically within 200 feet of structure. That area had accumulated a significant amount of hazardous vegetation, as you can see, including a very dense curtain of arundo along some as well as some downed trees within that 200-foot protocol. Next slide, please. So this aerial view gives the context for where the CCC crew was working for the first project around the entrance area. So you can see that yellow circle up there is the area of concern. Next slide, please.
So go back to that previous slide. So take a look, and you're going to see in two more slides what it looks like today, and it's quite different in terms of the community around it. You can see a lot of rooftops in this one. Two more slides, and you'll see what it looks like today.
Next slide, please. Here you can see the before and after of the vegetation clearing of the arundo. The crew removed a thick, like I said, curtain of arundo to reduce the fuel continuity. Next slide, please. And this slide shows the down tree removal. One oak came down and created a domino effect, taking down a walnut as well as a elderberry with it. Unfortunately, the down trees were within 200 feet, so thus it could not be used for habitat, unfortunately. Next slide, please. This is the final condition of the area in total. The CCCs removed about 80 tons of hazardous vegetation and woody material from the entrance area. Homeowner was super pleased. He actually came and asked us if he could have some of the cut rounds for himself. And so I said, yes, please, with pleasure, take it. Next slide, please. All right, so
now you can just see. Now you can see on the lower portion, both the lower left-hand side and the lower right-hand side, not many houses.
And then again, during the same week, the second project shifted to El Nino storm preparation behind Stewart Hall along the riverbed. So our concern is that should the storm come to fruition, that the loose disconnected material can begin moving downstream, accumulate at choke points, and then potentially create drainage problems. So the map shows the work zone around the sieve dams and the debris travel path. They began the project work from the last arrow at the very top of the aerial map, which is about a quarter mile to the second sieve dam. Next slide, please. And the crew began collecting disconnected branches and debris left behind after the Palisades fire. Much of the material had to be dragged and gathered by hand from about a quarter mile upstream. Next slide, please. And then this shows the staging work near the second sieve dam. One of the biggest challenges with this project was equipment access. So ideally, we would have brought a truck and shipper directly into the riverbed and processed the material closer to where it had been collected. But unfortunately, the riverbed has extremely loose sand. And so we determined that trying to bring the truck and shipper farther upstream created too much risk of getting that equipment stuck. So because of that, the CCC crews had to hand drag the chain chain the material from farther up the riverbed up and bring it back to the second sieve dam. So when you look at the amount of material this crew had to move, it's important to understand that much of the distance was covered manually. Next slide, please. All right, since that initial work, our park staff have been able to improve an access point to the staging area. So this past Friday, staff used a bobcat to create and stabilize a pathway through the riverbed. The goal was to establish enough access so that when the CCs return, which will be this next Wednesday, we can safely get a stake bed truck up to the second sieve dam without risking it getting stuck in the loose sand. And then they can then haul it back to Stewart Hall and ship all the material into a 40-yard bin. And then the CCCs will collect additional debris between the second sieve dam and then the first sieve dam, consolidate it, stage it where it can be reached with equipment, and then repeat the hauling and shipping process. So essentially, we're working through the drainage systematically, collect, consolidate, haul, chip, and remove, and then move to the next section. So by the time this phase of the project is completed, we estimate that we will have filled at least 40-yard bin, 4 40-yard bins. So that would represent approximately 160 cubic yards of material removed from the riverbed. And that is the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Crowley.
Thank you, Lee.
Thanks, Chuck.
Anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Evanston, or any thoughts or questions from?
We are holding our pace in hands until the legislature has completed its work. And we have no idea when that will happen, but it'll be sometime in the next 2 weeks. And there are a number of different proposals out there, some of which would have new parklands associated with us, and some would not. So you know which way we're hoping, and there are a number of different proposals out there, and we hope that the governor will sign all of them.
Here, here. Thank you, Mr. Edmondson. Next, we have our Mountains Recreation Conservation Authority. Chair Lange?
Yes, thank you, Chair Luna. I really appreciate James and sometimes Willie as they distribute our MRCA report. And as you notice, there's like 25 items listed from 5 of our divisions. And it just goes to show you how much MRCA has going on all the time. There's only going to be 2 items I wanted to highlight. The very first one under Ranger Services Operations. Rangers and Operations staff celebrated World Ranger Day hosted by Riverside County Rangers. And the fact that Riverside was gracious enough to involve our Fire Division and Rangers Division to the World Ranger Day was really, I thought, very appreciative. And then the last item is the last item noted under Ranger Services, and that's where the Rangers and staff led a kayak tour in the Sepulveda Dam Basin with 16 youths from Koreatown. And I can just imagine what those young people thought when they got on that LA River there in the Sepulveda Dam Basin, and probably just really opened their eyes and made them appreciate nature that much more. So anyway, thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Chair Lange. Santa Clarita Watershed Recreation Conservation Authority.
No report.
Thank you. Wildfire Corridor Conservation Authority, Mr. Edelman. Thank you. Moore Park Watershed Parks Recreation Conservation Authority.
No report.
Any other reports by staff?
No.
Questions to staff? Do any members have?
I was at
Go ahead.
Temescal Canyon this Sunday, and it was great to see people back. And for all of the comments that we just heard, there are still people engaging with the park. And we also were at Will Rogers to see if we could find my son's old kiosk, but it had burnt in the fire. But there was people there using the lawns and all that kind of good stuff. So even though we're still recovering, it's cool to see folks using our parks.
Any other comments not on the agenda from any other members?
I have one.
Please.
So as the county, we have 26 agencies, but a lot of times people forget we also have parks. And in our district and Supervisor Gorell's district, we have Santa Rosa Valley Park. This October 3rd, if you come out, we have our 3rd annual Fall Festival. And all the proceeds, we've had about 1,500 people the last time, go to a group called Stepping Stones. So one of the things that we did in increasing utilization within our park is we partnered with a group that actually very much you reminded me of this, by the way. Stepping Stones, their mission is to provide access to horses for all, regardless of your economic status. And so a lot of kids learn lifelong lessons by caring for horses, riding, and also competing. So we now house about a dozen horses on our county property. So not only has it increased utilization of the park, but it's creating all kinds of opportunities for children, for families. So please come on out. We have music, we have vendors. Again, October 3rd, I'll bring a flyer to the next meeting, to 6 p.m.
2 to 6.
Great.
2 to
Thank
6.
you.
Great music, by the way.
Any other comments or questions?
I'd like to just give Jamal Butler another shout out and congratulations on his position. I think with the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy, having Santa Monica Mountains in the name, it's often easy to forget this significant portion of the Angeles National Forest that is within this territory. And as someone who worked with Jamal as we were advocating to protect the forest at my time at the Wilderness Society and being a member of the community collaborative for the San Gabriel Mountains, it is really inspiring to see somebody who's spent the bulk of his 20-plus year career here in the Angeles. He worked on the Gateway District that is the section of the San Gabriels that was within the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy territory, and I think really understands the dynamics that are incredibly unique to this region. And he's someone who embraces partnership and collaboration, and I really wish him a lot of luck. And just wanted to share, I think we even talked about the challenges of getting the Forest Service here, given the bigger macro national conversations that are happening. Despite those constraints, I hold a bit of optimism with now Jamal Butler stepping into this role permanently. So kudos and welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Rossman.
Thank you for that.
Looking forward to seeing you in person, Mr. Butler. Okay, if there's, we're moving on to closed session. Before we do, I just like to ask everyone if there's no opposition that today we adjourn our meeting in memory of Steve Appleton, who was a great advocate for the river. He was the founder of LA River Kayak Safari. Beyond that, he was just a great person, an artist who really engaged community at the river. He was a good partner to MRCA, a good partner to Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy when we were conceptualizing kayaking the LA River. So if there's no opposition, I'd like for us to adjourn in his memory. And with that, we're moving into closed session. Jeff, I'm going to read my statement. And so while Jeff makes announcements, we ask members of the public and advisory committee members to please excuse yourselves or log off. The meeting will be locked before the closed session begins and reopened afterwards. If you are attending online and would like to rejoin once the closed session concludes, please provide your name and phone number in the Q&A box. Staff will notify you when it's time to log back in. With that,
My granddaughter, age 15.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hopefully folks can hear me okay.
Hear you fine, Jeff.
Okay. The Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy will go into closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 11126E1. Litigation, pending litigation to be discussed is the City of Malibu versus Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy. Okay, in closed session, pursuant to Government Code Section 11126E1, the Conservancy met to discuss pending litigation, City of Malibu versus Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy. Nothing to report.
thank you, Chief Counsel Maloney. Well, this concludes our meeting for today. Only announcement is that our next Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy meeting is September 23rd. With that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Mr. Chairman.